Every time I start working with a new client, I do one thing that I can honestly say is attributed to hundreds of thousands of pounds in sales. The process that I'm going to share with you today will help you get more leads and close more sales, hands down. It's not a certain type of content that you should be posting. It's not some sort of AI hack that you can use. It's a really simple exercise where we identify our ideal client avatar. I've seen loads of variations of people sharing this online or in courses that I've watched, but they're all just so confusing and aren't very easy to actually implement into your business. I'm going to share the method that I use to craft any ICP in 5 simple steps. You can stop wasting money on ads that don't convert. You can stop posting content that doesn't get seen. This will help you with everything in the lead generation and sales process. I'm also going to give you a worksheet to go along with this video so that you can fill in while you're watching. So if you click on the first link in the description before you get started, you can get that now. So the first thing to note when we're doing this exercise is your offer goes hand in hand with your audience. And there's no right way to do things. You might base an offer on a particular audience that you know well and know how to work with, or you might do it the other way and you've got a really great product that you need to find the right audience to fit in. When I say offer, I'm just talking about the product or the service or the transformation that you're delivering to a client. And when I talk about the audience, I'm talking about what problem do we solve, where can we find them, and how do they think. So it's really getting into those deeper psychographics in their mind rather than what you might typically think of as a target audience. So I'm going to refer to the target audience as the ICP today. It's slightly different. Instead of looking at the target audience, I look at an ideal client profile, or ICP. So this gives us much more detail and we can look into the psychology of what people are thinking. So an ICP is an ideal client, so we're looking at one particular person, where a target audience is generally a little bit more general, and we don't get to go deep into the problems, the pains, and the things that are actually going to get them to buy. You might actually have more than one ideal client for your offer, and that's okay, but we're going to start off with one and keep things simple. And you can add on to that if you're a more established or a bigger business with different sectors and things like that. The goal is to build a clear profile of this person, and we're going to use it to speak to them on our website, on our funnels, so all the text, all the copy on our website and funnels. We're going to use it in our ads for our creative, our copywriting, our targeting even. We're going to use it in our content for, imagine if you're creating a piece of content and we're going to be speaking and creating this piece of content for this particular person. We're going to use it in our emails, our sales assets, you can even use it in your pitch, in your objection handling, anything like that, and much more. So doing this is the highest leverage thing that I do when I work with a new client. And you can actually base the ideal client profile off of a real client, or you can create a made up client, and it's entirely up to you. You might have the perfect client who you love working with, and you can base it off that, and that makes it a lot easier. So starting off with the demographics, and this is what most people think about when they think of their target audience. So this is the surface level information that defines who your client is. So how old are they? What gender are they? So maybe your service or product appeals more strongly to one gender. What location are they in? So where do they live or where do they operate? Are we doing local, national, global? What job or industry or field are they in? Or, are they a business owner? Anything like that. How much are they earning? This helps us with affordability. How much can they afford? There's no good selling £100,000 watches to people who are not earning much money, or students or something like that. So we need to match that to the ideal client. What stage of life are they in? So are they young professionals? Are they parents? Are they retired? Anything like that. And what's their sort of family status? Are they single? Are they married with children? Are they dating? Are they kids? It could be anything. So the next thing is, and this is where we start to go deeper, and this is where we start to really get into the big winners of, when we know exactly what our clients' problems, pains, and goals are, we can talk directly to those problems, pains, and goals in our advertising, in our sales page copy, all of that sort of stuff. So first of all, looking at their problems and pains, we're tapping into their frustrations. What are their current struggles? What's blocking them right now from being where they want to be? And what are the daily frustrations that they're feeling? The little annoyances that are adding up. They might have bigger fears, so what are they going to worry that's going to happen if they don't solve this problem? And what are actually the costs of inaction? So what are they losing by not fixing this? So just to give you an example, we could be looking at someone who is, a man who's really skinny, and they want to get bigger, they want to get more muscular by going to the gym. And we need to describe a deep visceral pain when we're talking to our avatar. So the types of things that we could be saying and types of things that we could be thinking is, are you embarrassed? Do you feel embarrassed when everyone's going swimming and, it's time to take your top off, but, everyone is a lot more muscular and you are looking really skinny, that sort of pain and that really deep visceral sort of image that you're painting, which is relatable for that ICP, is gonna work so well. If you can imagine seeing an ad that speaks directly to a pain or a struggle or a problem that you're going through, you're going to pay attention to that ad and you're going to click the next thing. If someone's created an ad sharing the pain that you're going through and promising to solve it, you're really going to pay attention to that. And the next thing that goes hand in hand with the problems is the goals. So what's the outcome that they want to achieve? So obviously you've got the pain and the problem of being skinny and not being muscular, and then you've got the dream outcome of I want to be like this. I want to put on 50 pounds in muscle or whatever it might be, and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So first of all, there's often like a primary goal that people are chasing. So maybe it's financial freedom, maybe it's having a house that they're really proud of and they can show off to their friends and family. Maybe it's having better health, so people might want to get in shape because of health reasons. But then there's often secondary goals that come with that, and these might be more internal. So it might be status, it might be more confidence, it might be more free time to do what they want with their kids or their family. It might be recognition from their peers or their colleagues. It could be anything like that. And then finally we've got the time frame. So how fast do they want this result? Obviously, in an ideal world, everyone wants this result tomorrow or the next, instantly. But how fast can you actually look to deliver this result for people? Are they in it for the short term, or are they going to be in it for the long game? And this can really affect your offer, the way that you talk to people. If someone's looking for a quick fix and you're like a personal trainer, they might not be a good fit for you. Next, we've got the identity layer. So how can you connect with your ICP? Another way to distinguish your audience is based on their identity. So this is what they identify as, the categories they put themselves in, and how they see themselves in the world. So, first of all, people put labels on themselves, like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor, I'm a content creator, I'm a parent, those types of things. I'm a golfer. Again, they might identify with communities they belong to. So like could be sports clubs, professional groups, industries like a police officer, online communities like people are into like Pokemon cards or gaming, stuff like that. Again, hobbies and interests. What do they do in their free time? What do they enjoy doing? What do they talk about online? And then lifestyle choices. Some people identify with living a simple life and being a minimalist. Some people like luxury and, you know, Lamborghinis and jets and yachts and things like that. So what can we think about with our ideal audience that's going to help us resonate with them? Here are some common labels that people identify with. So you've got parents, entrepreneurs, dog lovers, athletes, gamers, all that sort of thing. So if you can imagine, we are this personal trainer again, and we are going to be looking at people who are family oriented and they love golf. And, you know, our whole offer is not going to revolve around this. Like, you're not going to be like, I'm a personal trainer only working with family men who play golf. It's not going to be as explicit as that. However, if you also like golf, and you post a little bit about, you know, just on your stories, or, you know, you mention things in some of your posts and show pictures and stuff of you playing golf. If you have someone seeing your content or seeing your ads that also likes golf, they're gonna resonate with that, and they're gonna think, oh, I like this guy. He also plays golf like I do. So it's that sort of thing. It's more subtle with the identity layer, but what it can do is really build trust that people aren't even thinking of, because people trust people who are like them. They look like them, they do the same things as them, and they share identity with them. So again, shared experiences. So is your background similar to them? Shared values. What do you stand for that resonates with them? Shared enemies. So do you both agree with certain things or avoid certain things? And then the tone of voice. So what is do they resonate with the way that you're speaking? You know, some people I see on social media are very arrogant, and it really puts me off, and I don't like to buy anything off anyone who comes across as arrogant and a bit of a dick. So, you know, think about that. But some people love that, you know, the people who probably buy those kind of courses where they're showing Lamborghinis and yachts and they're being arrogant and showing off. The people who like that obviously are craving similar status, and, you know, people are resonating with that. It clearly works because all these people are making money. So you just need to think, what can you relate to people over, and that's what that one's about. Next, we've got buying behavior, and this is also objections. So first of all, we need to think about the customer journey. So how do they buy things online? So I'm looking at me for an example. If I see something on Instagram, like you know, it could be I was looking at a video editing course a few months ago. Saw some really cool video shots on Instagram, and that got my attention. Then I went over to YouTube to find out a little bit more. So that was my next step in my sort of buy-in journey. I like to go to YouTube to find out more information, find out, you know, longer format, more about that person, about the product, what they sell. And then finally, I like to go to the website so I can read reviews. I can find out, you know, the intricate details about what I'm getting, what I'm paying for, if I'm going to be spending a lot of money. Perhaps I want to book a call with someone. Personally, I'm not someone who actually needs to book onto a call with someone to buy. But some people like that. Some people like to speak face to face. And this will vary massively depending on your offer. So, you know, if you're selling something for £100, no one really needs to book on a call for that. It's not an amount of money that's going to require that level of trust. However, if you're selling something for £10,000, for example, it's going to be very difficult for someone to part ways with £10,000 without even speaking to a member of your team. So you need to think about that, and think about your ideal customer. Where are they going to first of all see you? So it might be on social media, it might be a Facebook ad, it might be a billboard, whatever it is. What are they going to be doing next? So maybe they then start watching all of your Instagram videos, or they look on your Facebook page and look at all your Facebook posts. Then they might search on Google, find out a little bit more, see if you've got a website or anything like that. If you don't have a website, maybe that's a red flag and they look for a competitor. These are all things that you need to think about, and think about your buying journey as well. Buying similar products to the ones that you sell. How do you do it? That's often the best way to do it. Or speak to your customers. Ask them, how did you get here? How did you decide to work with me? What does it take for them to apply to work with you? Again, what needs to be true for them to take that step and actually fill out an application or book in a call or ask for a quote from you or something like that? So do they need to build a lot more trust with you? Do they need to see testimonials? Do they need to have some sort of special offer? Some people don't like buying things at full price. All these kind of things are things to think about. What social media platforms are they using? So it's all well and good, people are posting a lot more TikTok videos now, but if you're targeting 60-year-old investors based in California, I don't know if TikTok is going to be the right platform for your offer and services. LinkedIn might be more for you, or Facebook. So you really need to think about your ideal audience and think about what channels are they actually using? Where are we going to find them and market to them? They might not be on social media at all, and then you need to think about, right, how can I actually find them? Facebook is always a good bet because majority of people in the world are on Facebook. So if you're ever in doubt, I would use Facebook ads. If you're going after like professional sort of people or business owners, a lot of people are on LinkedIn, although a lot of them aren't. And then YouTube as well. Everyone uses YouTube and Google to, even if it's just to, you're doing a bit of research on a product, or you're going on holiday to a certain place, maybe you have a little search on YouTube and try and look at videos of other people who've gone there. And then looking at objections as well then, so this fits into buying behaviour. What things will they object to which are going to stop them from buying? So bad past experiences, maybe they want to know the price, maybe they don't trust you, maybe they're worried about how long it's going to take or if they're going to be a good fit. All these sorts of things are good to think about. What are they worried about? So maybe people are worried about wasting their money or getting scammed, or maybe they're worried that they don't have the ability to get the results because your offer looks a bit too complicated and you need to simplify it for them. Maybe they're worried about wasting time and money. They pay for a personal trainer for 12 weeks. They go for the first 2 weeks and they hate it, or they look foolish, they're embarrassed. You don't make them feel welcome and things like that. These are all things that people are worrying about, and you need to try and mitigate these worries in your sales copy, in your ads, in everything. Okay. And then finally, what social proof impresses them? What makes them trust you? So is it going to be transparency, guarantees, clear proof of results? Do they want to see people in their situation who have gotten the results? Do they want to see that you've worked with some big names, or can they see some stats or numbers that you've achieved? Is there any screenshots or testimonials or endorsements that you've got? So think about these sort of things when you are thinking about the objections of your ICP as well. Finally then, we have the stages of awareness. And now this is a really important concept to think about. So I believe in the book Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins, he comes up, I don't know if he came up with this or just popularized it, but he shares the 5 stages of awareness that customers are in. So we've got unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and then most aware. So an unaware audience is not aware that they have a problem, but they're experiencing some sort of pain. So if we look at the example of the fitness thing, they might be feeling embarrassed or feeling embarrassed, or they're not feeling good about themselves but they don't quite know why. They don't know it's because of the lack of muscle, or they don't know it's because they want to lose weight, whatever it may be. So how we can target these people is we can educate them on reasons why they're experiencing pain or problems. So again, going into the deep visceral sort of images, we can say, have you ever been to the beach and not wanted to take your top off? That is going to really resonate in their head, and then we can go on to explain why they're feeling like this and tell them, it's not their fault and that we've got a solution. So we can actually take people from unaware all the way down to most aware with one advert, or one YouTube video, or one sales page. Problem aware people then, so they know the cause of their problem, but they don't know how to solve it. So again, these people, they might be aware that they are not feeling good because they want to lose weight, okay? But they don't know how to solve it. So they've tried things in the past and they just simply can't lose the weight. So these are the people who are, there's a lot of people in problem aware and unaware stages, and they just go on with their life in pain and don't think that there's any way to solve it. And again, people even know the problem, but they just don't think that they can solve it. So how we target the problem aware people is we call out their problems and pains, and we show them that there is a solution, and hopefully in an ideal world that solution is easy. Okay, so people who are solution aware, they understand that certain solutions can help fix their problem, but they haven't done much research into it. And by the way, guys, when I say solution aware, problem aware, this isn't people who, let's look at the weight loss, for example. This isn't people who, just because they're not solution aware, it doesn't mean they don't know that going to the gym exists. It's just that they're not aware that that might be a solution that would fit into their lives and actually help them, or something that they could actually achieve, okay? So it's not that they don't know that these things exist, it's just they haven't thought about it and put two and two together. So obviously, you could look at it like people who want to get rich, they're aware that they haven't got much money and they want to get rich, and they're also aware that starting a business is a great way to get rich. However, they don't think that they can start that business, or they don't think that they can do it. So it doesn't even cross their mind until you actually educate them on it. So we can target the solution aware people with comparing your solution to others. So show the benefits of what makes you the best option for them. Okay, so this could be looking at Ozempic versus going to the gym versus getting a personal trainer versus liposuction surgery versus fasting, anything like this. They're all different solutions. Next, we've got product aware, and this is, they know about a particular product or service that can help them, but they're still in information gathering mode. So maybe, they've decided getting a PT is the best option for me, but they haven't chosen you as their PT, and they haven't chosen your offer. They don't know anything about your offer, actually. They don't know why that your PT program is better than the next 20 PT programs that they're getting adverts for on Facebook. Okay, so how we can target these people is we can share our case studies, results, and give them an insight into what it's like to actually work with you. And then finally, most aware people, they know all about you, they know about your offer and how you can help them, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. And the way to target most aware people is simple. We give them direct offers, we give them urgency, we give them scarcity, we give them deals. So this is what most people actually start with, and there's a very small amount of people who are most aware, okay? This is going to be people who've come all the way up your funnel. They're going from product aware to solution aware to product aware, and then they know who you are, what you do, and then they're looking at the offers, buy now. This is why a lot of people in their marketing strategies go wrong, because they see these large companies running adverts for sales and offers and apply to work with us now. But what they don't realize is these companies are people are already aware of them because they do large advertising campaigns on TV. They've got huge brand names. So, someone like Apple doesn't really need to worry about people who are unaware because everyone knows what Apple is. Whereas your small construction company, you do need to worry about that because nobody knows who you are, nobody trusts you, nobody knows exactly how you do things, the way you work. You might still pick up a few sales because obviously if someone needs their kitchen fitted, they need their kitchen fitted, they need to find someone. But if you want to look at marketing and attract a huge amount of people, this is the way to look at things. And creating your ICP and then looking at the stages of awareness of that ICP is a great thing to actually do before you look at any ads, before you do anything. Okay, so that's it. That's how to craft your ICP. I want to offer everyone to join my free school community. So it's free to join. It's exclusively for entrepreneurs and founders only. Inside, I'm going to start posting more videos like this. I've got free courses. I've got like AI resources, prompts you can use, and just loads and loads of training. And what I want to do is create a community of my ideal client audience. So people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, content creators that want to grow and scale their business, and they also want to connect with other people who are similar to them. Okay, so my aim with it is to start hosting live events, meetups, and more, because I'm not going to lie, I hate networking events, but I know how valuable networking is. But wouldn't it be so much better if we had like a community going full of entrepreneurs and founders, and then we all just met up for, we could all go for a run, we could meet up for an event, and everyone could go for dinner, stuff like that. So that's the vision with this. It's in very early stages. We've got a few videos in there at the moment, and yeah, if you want to get the follow along worksheet that I mentioned earlier, it's in the SKOOL community, so all you need to do is join that and you can get that. But this video is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. I hope if you watched all the way to this point now, I hope it made sense and I hope you found it valuable. If you do this and do what I've talked about in this video, the next time you're looking at a campaign, or if you've been in business a while and you haven't done this before, it's worth doing because it's going to be so valuable for everything you do in your marketing and sales. So other than that, thanks for watching. I've been Luke Watkins, and I hope to be seeing some of you in the SKOOL community soon. Thanks for watching.